always have to, first, you've got to get the audience to identify with and want to be the hero. And then you've got to create a challenge, a mountain for the hero to climb. The bigger the mountain to climb, the more that everybody wants to see him succeed and achieve it, and then overcome it, and then thus want to see further adventures of your hero. That's always the case. Wrestling, just as much. But we don't as heel, nobody is a healer. Meaning that nobody wants to not be cool. Nobody doesn't want to be the fool. To be honest, one of the last few heels that we really had in the wrestling business was JBL. Nowadays, I would have to say, like Ethan Carter is tremendous in that role. As much as it pains me, Robbie E. Is a fantastic heel. Jesse Goddard, because they understand, they get the idea that they're there to get over and elevate the babyface as much as possible. And they're not caught up in this BS about them being credible heels. If you're a heel, you're not credible. That's the whole point. Is that you're willing to do whatever it takes to win and not lose, as long as you don't get caught doing it. And if you just don't have those guys in existence, we have the reason that Steve Austin was so incredibly over was because Vince McMahon had so much heat. He was a genuine heel, which is a shoot. But you have to respect it. That's the way it works. You can't, back to the job squad, you can't be the main event without the opening match. You can't be the opening match without the main event. You can't win if somebody's not willing to lose. Jesus, the most overrated babyface in the history of the world. You don't get more over than Jesus. You got the greatest eyes once walking water through the same kid line. You cannot get over because you go into any Christian-based church, any service, and they spend 3/4 of the time looking and say, why? Satan ain't got heat. Jesus don't get over it. Jesus don't get over it. They don't draw money. It's that simple. That's the way it operates.
Yeah, that's the ultimate way of putting it right there. You can't get any higher than that.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any difference from the heels of yesterday and the heels of today? Because I heard the term of in-ring general, the heel in the old days. Is there any truth to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because in the old days, the heel called the match, led the match. Meaning, I literally, if I'm working with a babyface, I'll tell him spots to do. I'll tell him things to do to put him over on me. I'll counter a hold, and then I'll tell him to move on something and get the hold back on me. And then when he gets the hold back on me, I'll decide whether or not I should go to the ropes or if I should, try and counter it again and have him get back over on me again. I'm the one who dictates, and I tell him. That's like in a comeback in a match, a portion of a match where it should look like a fight. Everybody does that one these days. Is the heel really should be the guy who calls the comeback. You don't call the comeback backstage. You can call some things and say, hey, if this comes up, I want you to know that I'm going to do X, Y, Z, or I'm going to do this, or I'd really like to make sure I get this in. Oh, okay, great. But babyface should find a spot in the center of the ring, and then the heel should run at him and be telling him as he's coming, give me a back elbow, give me a back drop, give me a hip toss, give me this, give me that. But that doesn't happen. Instead, you get a babyface who literally runs all over the ring, chasing the heel. Why is that bad? Well, because at that point in time, it's all about putting the babyface over. Well, if you don't, when the babyface does this, you're busy watching him chase the heel all over the place. You're not watching the heel take a bump himself in the babyface. So they end up killing themselves off. Then they just do the same 3 punches, final bump, back into the ropes, shoot him off, big move, false finish. Which is not false. It makes me want to set moves. So,
Tate, would you
great
agree with
hearing
that?
what I think come out of somebody else's mouth. So I must be doing something right.
So we have similar to what you're doing
I
with your
100%
company.
agree with everything you just said.
I'm 100%. I don't know if that's
create
more
so
old
many so much
school
in my life.
here?
There's no old school.
Okay.
If you can create something that's completely new, that's fake, you have a new school. If you don't, we're in the same school. Until you come up with something that's new, that's fake, there's nothing about this wrestling business that's changed. Has it evolved? Yes. Is it more sophisticated? Yes. Why? Because the audience is more sophisticated. But in 1915, before they had ring entrance music and pyro and etc., that bell rang, they were trying to sell people on the belief, and people bought into the belief that it was a competition and the win and loss mattered. In 2015, that's still, once the pyro ends, music stops, and the bell rings, that's still what you're trying to do, is to try to create that illusion that it is a competitive situation, and that the win and loss have some gravity to it, whether it be for personal reasons or for just you're a prize fighter and you're trying to win the fight so that you can make money to pay your bills. That's the thing that's been lost, and the guys don't focus on it. And here's a little news flash for you. Oh, well, everybody knows it's fake now. Guess what? Everybody's known it's fake since 1938. My mother, an intelligent woman, but, I don't think she's a Mensa candidate. My grandmother, just as smart, but, certainly wouldn't be teaching college. Both of them, when I wanted to start wrestling, were like, why do you want to do that? That's fake. How the hell do they know that? I was 12 years old. So that was long before Vince McMahon ever disclosed the fact that wrestling was entertainment. And so that excuse of, well, now they know it's fake. They knew it was fake then. But why did they pay to see it? Because they were given what they paid to see. And why are they not paying to see it now? They're not anymore being paid, given what they paid to see. Instead, the wrestlers are trying to entertain themselves and are trying to entertain a select group of verbal fans who are going to compliment them on the quality of their match, which is completely retarded. Because that's like me. I love medicine. I watch every show on medicine. Every doctors, ER, MASH, and I go on the internet every day and read everything other thing about medicine. I'm a big fan of medicine. Go to the doctor.
You're a fan of MD.
Yeah, love it. But if I go to the doctor, should I tell the doctor how to fix me? Why? Or should the doctor listen to me? No, why? Because he's a doctor. And the one thing he has that I don't have, besides information, is experience. He has experience being a doctor. I have none. So, as much as I think I know, I don't. And the same goes for wrestling fans. As much as they would like to believe that they are not just fans, and that they're part of the business in some degree, and that they have a bunch of information and inside ideas and plans, they don't, because they've never been inside the ring and doing physically what needs to be done to try to generate a greater amount of attendance to therefore be able to feed your family in the right fashion.
Since you're talking about this, I got one question. I know you got a bunch of questions. It seems like a good time because you said it would renew, since the dawn of time has been, work in its own way. To you, is kayfabe dead, or is kayfabe still trying to be withheld?
What is kayfabe? There's no cover of it at all.
We already know it's already.
Kayfabe was one. It was just a code word. That's all it was. It was just a way that you could say in a sentence a word that was completely not part of the English language, but it didn't stand out. Used in a conversation that you could notify people that a fan or mark was in the dressing room or nearby. Or if you didn't want to discuss something, you would never just go kayfabe like they do now. You would, hey, did you see that girl kayfabe last night? She was blah, 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 and the guy would know, okay, we need to stop talking business. Or if two guys were, it was so protected in that sense that you were, like, you're in the locker room and you and I are working. We wouldn't, if usually you were in a locker room across the way, we were going to discuss our finish. We left all the boys and we went over in the shower and discussed what we were going to do. We didn't even share it with the boys. And that was the way it went. Kayfabe true sense was to have a respect for and protect the wrestling business, in so much as not insulting people's intelligence by rubbing it in their faces. Think of it like wrestlers are like method actors. So, meaning they are who they are 24 hours a day. That's the gimmick. That's why it works, because it's an extension of who their real personality is. That's why it connects with the audience. But, I'm wrestling you, and we have this heated feud, and you punched my wife, and kicked my dog, and shoved my grandmother down in a wheelchair, but now we're out to eat. Well, now what's that do with this whole story that these people have bought into and invested into? And now it's just distasteful. It's like going and watching a movie, and before you come in, they start showing you everything with special effects and how they did everything behind the scenes. So now I just can't lose myself in the story and become emotionally invested in the story, because apparently that won't mean anything. It's all BS. And they don't want that. They want to, and they want, even though everybody always has known and will always know wrestling is a work, but they want to, just a moment. They want to, hey, I know it's fake. These two guys seem like they're trying to kill each other. Because I can't tell you when business was at its peak, how many people came to me and would always ask, hey, is Steve Austin really just like he is on TV? And is Vince McMahon as big an asshole as he is on TV? Still to this day, that's bad. Because they believed, they bought into who those guys were and the issue between them. And that's why I drew it.
I've always had this conception or my thinking of, when I'm running shows, I'm walking around out front, going back and forth to ticket window and stuff back, and I see people in their 40s standing outside in line. They get their ticket ripped, at any age. It's like a light switch goes off, and it's like it goes back to their childhood. Maybe it's just the area I run, but it just they kind of forget about their lives. And then, on the way out the door, they get that flyer, for the next month, and they're like, yes, it's like, somebody could have passed away, got a speeding ticket that week, some sick kids, just like, boom, it's like that 3 hours of, I'm not going to worry about anything, it's like that peace of mind.
That's why you would watch a movie and you would go escape the world for a little while, and you go out into another one. And the whole, listen, the same thing that's fake about wrestling is the same thing that's fake about boxing, which is the same thing that's fake about MMA. It's always the finish. It's what will draw the most business and make the most money. Care what they say.
I 100% agree with that.
But how less would you care about, say, a boxing match or a football game if you already knew that the teams are going to lose? It's that drama of that competition, and people want that. They want to come in and want to root and cheer for the guy that they identify with, and they want to pay to see the guy they don't like to lose. But again, back to no heels. You've got heels that do bigger, stronger, more aggressive things than anything that the babyface does to embody the match, which now makes us want to be that guy, not want to be babyface. They're not this big. They don't lie. They don't cheat. They don't steal. They don't do underhanded things. They don't act cowardly. They don't back down. They just, because they feel like they have to be, have credibility. Well, what's the babyface doing? If babyface goes like this and I don't go like this, I go right back at it. Now we don't know who's going to cheer. But if the babyface goes like this, I go, oh wait. And then when he turns back, I go like this, and he turns back around, I go, oh. Now you know. I don't want to be me. I want to be the other guy. Because that guy represents what I think I am. So, case in point, if we walked outside right now, and to really illustrate this, and then I'll stop, because I clearly talk about it.
I'm enjoying it. So
outside and we see somebody setting fire to a car. Give me your car. What are you gonna do? Probably call 911. Why? Leave your car. I don't care. Go outside and we see somebody setting fire to your car. What are you gonna do?
Try to put it in.
Yeah, go try and stop the guy and probably kick his ass. Right? Why? Don't you care? First thought's not call 911. First thought is I'm gonna kick this guy's ass for trying to set fire to my car. If you go outside and see somebody set fire to your car with your family and your dog in it, what are you gonna do? Probably kill the guy. And not even think twice about doing it. Why? Care about it. So my job as a heel is not to be cool, not to get over, it's not to be credible. It's to make babyface everybody's car with their family and their dog in it as much as possible. That's it. Now, we got 8 minutes tonight in the match. If it takes me 7 minutes and 45 seconds to make that happen, that's what it takes. 7 minutes and 45 seconds of that 8 minutes. And I don't get 50 things. Or I don't get this cool move. I get one. And I do that one move, and people are willing to come up out of their seats and come over the rail instead. That's my goal, is to try to motivate people to want to take some type of physical action. I worked as a heel in Grado in his hometown in Scotland. And if they had given me enough time, my goal was to try to see if I could get people to come over the rail to attack. Because I wasn't going to be satisfied unless I did. And you know, because of the building curfew, they gave me like, they cut me time-wise, and I didn't have the time that I wanted to really get that to that point. So.
Well, Tough Enough was a huge hit. You were part of that show. How did you get chosen for that show? I know you've done your share of trainings. Was that how you got the job? Is that why you took the job? What did you think of that experience?
They approached me, WG approached me about it, and I think it was, at the time, I think it was more, from what I've heard, more that it was going to be a vehicle for Texas. But I know Jim Ross, several other people knew that I trained, and so, you know, they brought me in, and it just kind of became my thing. You know, partly because Taz couldn't be there as much, but partly it just seemed to fit, it just seemed to work. And, you know, I was thrilled to be a part of it. It was such an awesome experience. It really was. Can't be thankful enough for that opportunity. Really enjoyed it.
You know, just sitting here listening to not just your knowledge, but the psychology that you're putting into it, really changes the way I used to think, let's say, a few years ago, about the guys in the business, the guys behind the curtain, the guys in the ring. I get a more appreciation now, learning about the psychology. So I'm a student, you know, and I'm listening, and I'll tell you, this is absolutely beautiful tape.
Great, you can just tell all the meaning behind everything he says. So, you know, man speaks with emotion behind it, you know, his voice. You know, or not even emotion, like passion. You know, he loves the business. And we all know that. But you know, it's good to hear things that I think from somebody else. You know,
There's a
makes me believe I did something right.
There's a seriousness in his voice that makes me understand what it means to him.
And that was always a big.
You know, I've done this for so long, and I've been very lucky to do it. It's dying. It's going away. And it's the sad thing is that it's more and more of what's intrinsic to it is lost. It'll become something different. And it'll survive. It'll just be a fad. It'll just be a passing fancy. It's unfortunate. It's a shame.
There's been a lot of talk at your social media locally around here about the word being a mark and being a smart mark in the business. And there's been discussions about how the term mark has changed through the years. Do you believe that? Do you disagree with that?
That's what I believe.
About someone being a mark? Like, what's your definition of a mark? Let's start with that.
A mark is somebody that you identify as literally back in the market is the way it worked was marked the person. You tried to see if they had a large amount of money. So if you ran the games were like that. Literally, department stores and grocery stores are now set up like the old carnivals. Literally, they put the attractions in the back, and then they propagate your pathway with things to try to take your money, to try to incite you to spend money. So they make the main attraction in the back. They have the midway, and then the ticket booth is at the other end. So you run the games. Here's how it works, and this is why it applies to the wrestling business. If you don't get anybody to play the games, you don't need to. It's that simple. You don't have any money. You understand? So you want to get somebody to play the game. The place you really make money is if they play the game over and over again. And the only way they'll ever play the game over and over again is one, if they have money, which is what you need to know. And the way you determine that is when the person buys the tickets, the person taking the tickets or giving the tickets out tries to make sure that they look into it and see if the person's got any money. If they do, they give a signal to the guy across the road, takes a piece of chalk or some dust and marks the person. The reason that you mark him is so that now everybody on the midway knows to put their attention on this person, as opposed to wasting their time and putting their attention on everybody. They really focus on that one or two guys or one or two people to sell the idea that they can play the game. Now once you get them to play the game, you have to, just like in wrestling, you have to work the gimmick of the game. What's the gimmick? The gimmick's the big prize. It's the giant teddy bear. And you, sir, have the best opportunity I've ever seen anybody here to be able to win that thing. Now you're going to spend your money, you're going to try, and then I'm going to make you believe that if you spend your money again, the odds are that you'll probably get that prize. The more I can make you do that, that's called heat. Heat meaning that you're becoming wanting, desiring, and trying to achieve that prize, and you've gotten so caught up in it that you continue to spend money. Thus, the same with a wrestling show. You try to sell the gimmick, sell the audience on the gimmick, which is the win and the loss, and then you make them believe that, well, if you just turned the ball just a half a turn, you'd have been able to knock all those book jokes down. Well, if the heel hadn't pulled the tights, that babyface would have won. You know what? Next week we're going to see him come back, and I'm sure the babyface will win this time. Well, if it hadn't been for the heel getting disqualified, but next time we're going to have a no disqualification match. So now the odds are even. I'm sure the babyface will win. People pay with the belief that each time they're going to get what we've made them want, and need and desire to see, which is ultimately their hero triumph, climb the mountain, and achieve the win, victory. So, but Mark was literally to mark a person, to literally so you could know who to devote your attention to try to get them to play the game. Because the more longer they play the game, the more money you make. The more money you make, the better you ate. It's a very simple process. And smart mark was a term that was created by Marx, which, the term mark was addressed as far as fans. And because in the true sense of the work is a con. It's to make somebody believe something that's not real. What's the con? The work is that it's a competition. So we're working the audience, getting them to buy into and believe that it's a competition. So therefore that makes them marks. Because we're really only having the show to try to get them to spend money so that we can make a living. That was where the term mark came from. Smart mark came from fans who wanted to not be fans anymore, who felt like they had enough knowledge and enough information that they were now part of a wrestling business that they were never actually a part of. And so they wanted to designate themselves as different and not just fans. They were a smart mark, which is impossible to be. It's the most oxymoronic term I've ever heard. Because you can't be smart, meaning knowing that you're being worked, and then still be a mark for it. Not possible. It's just completely ridiculous. But it has propagated itself throughout the business so much so now that just not the smart marks and the fans call themselves smart marks. The boys use the term smart mark and label them as, oh, he's a smart mark. Mark is a Mark. And every one of us, all of us are Marks. Because one person who's the easiest to work is the one who believes he can't do it. Because you can always be worked to some degree or another. So everybody's a Mark. And it's not a derogatory term. It's not a program. It is simply it's a term that the rest of the business used in regards to the fans' remarks that they were there to be worked. And they were willing participants in it. But now everybody thinks, well, I'm so much smarter, I'm so much more sophisticated, I've got so much more information, I know too. And that's the group of people that are the most vocal, and that's the group of people that now everyone within the rest of the business, I don't care what you say, cater to. And that's the group that you should cater to the least. You should absolutely care less what they think or say or do. You know why? Because your job is to sell tickets. And guess what tickets you're going to sell every time? To that guy. Why? Because I don't care what you're a critic of, whether it's wrestling, movies, literature, sports. Critics never, ever criticize and expound their opinion in a public forum to put you over or to bury you in any way. It has nothing to do with you. They want to tell everyone how much they know about what you do. Like they have ever done it, but they never have. Never had any genuine experience of doing it, but they seem to think they know as much as you do, and therefore they can now venture an opinion on it. It's all about them putting themselves over. So if they don't buy a ticket to your show, they don't get to watch your show. They don't get to watch your show. They don't get to go on the internet or in a newsletter or any other way to do it, to expound their opinion and tell everybody how much they know about your show or your performance. And that's not going to happen because that's the only reason they're doing it in the first place. So they're going to buy a ticket to every show you go to. Even if they told you the last time that it sucked and I'll never come again, guess what they're going to do? They'll be right back again next month. Why? Because they can't help themselves. They are the most retarded people I've ever seen. I tell them that all the time. If I ever watched any TV show like they watch Raw and complain every single week about the TV show, guess what I would not do? I wouldn't watch the TV show. I can't tell you the number of television programs over the years that I have watched and went, that kind of sucks. I'm not going to watch it no more. The minute I went, that sucks, I never turned it back on. So if you hate it that much, why do you keep watching it? I don't understand. It's beyond me to fathom. It just give me some logical explanation. I ask guys all the time, I ask fans all the time, I'm like, wrestling's not the way it's been. Well, you watch it? I watch it every week. Why? If you don't like it, why are you watching it? Why are you paying to see it? I don't get it at all. It makes no sense to me. So, but it's not about the show. It's not about the character. It's not about the performance. It's about them getting to tell everybody how much they know about what you should have done. It's about them. And they're going to buy a ticket every time. They're going to watch the show every time. So you know what? I don't care. And here's the biggest thing. This is a fact. Some people can say that, oh, you might ask, you're a jerk. You didn't pay to see me. I didn't pay to see you. You paid to see me. So guess what? That means I get to tell you what to do. I get to tell you how to react. I get to tell the story. Not you. Not what you wanted to see. Because you don't always get what you wanted to see, which now motivates you to want to come back to see it again. I decide because you paid to see me, not the other way around. So, in the sense that back to, again, full circle, back to, has the business changed? Absolutely. Why? Because the mindset now with all the talented performers is all about that vocal percentage of fans and trying to appease them, as opposed to, screw you, I'm going to do what I need to do to try to draw everybody, not just you. Because you're always going to draw those people. That's it. So,
I used that in a promo on Saturday night, did that?
Maybe.
I used to, in a promo with Grado, I told everybody here, that I told everybody in the building that I was better than them. And I said, the reason I know I am is because you paid to see me. I've been here. You're out there.
I think I told everybody to sit down and shut up because they paid their hard-earned money to see me and listen to me talk. Backtrack 1 second. Do you keep in contact with anybody from Tough Enough?
Once in a while. Kenny works for Kenny King from Tough Enough 2, works for TV now, and of course, Josh. Occasionally, Lewinsky. I haven't talked to him in 7 years, but occasionally they'll pop up.